All right. So, real quick, 5 firearm safety rules, okay? Or how to not shoot yourself in the dick. Because obviously we don't want to shoot ourselves, especially in the dick. I wanted to make this video because we do go over it before every class as part of the safety brief on the range. But this is something I can put out there on the emails for you guys for all the classes and stuff for people that are coming up. So, a ditty in the Marine Corps that we knew was treat, never, keep, okay? I added the no. But essentially these are the 5 firearm safety rules, and I'm gonna go through them right here, okay? So, treat every weapon as if it were loaded, okay? That goes without saying. Obviously these things are not toys, they're fucking tools. So you don't want to treat them like a toy, okay? Cognitively aware of the muzzle and where you're pointing the gun at all times, okay? A lot of times, especially with handguns, right? So handguns are small and wieldy, right? So the muzzle can easily sweep body parts or people or things very easily because it's so small, and if you're not paying attention, a lot of times I'll see shooters come to class and they will hold and look at their gun, but they put their hand in front of the muzzle. The biggest thing there is people make mistakes. So if you leave a round in the chamber or if somebody else's gun and you don't know, and you're putting your hand in front of the muzzle or body parts and the gun goes off, accidents happen. So if you follow these rules, then you'll be perfectly fine and everybody around you will be safe, okay? So treat every weapon as if it were loaded, all right? So the next one is never, kind of goes into the same kind of thing, but never point it at anything you're not willing to destroy, okay? Anything you're not willing to, and then destroy is one of those keywords where it kind of grabs your attention, okay? So obviously don't point it at anything that you're not willing to shoot, okay? So when you're handling the gun, just be aware of your muzzle, okay? Finger off out of the trigger guard, straight along the slide on the frame. We'll talk about that, but that's pretty much it. Next one is keep your weapon on safe until you're ready to fire. Okay, so if your gun has a safety, Berettas, some of the M&Ps, 1911s, that's particularly what this rule applies to, is anything with a thumb safety, okay, or anything with a safety, really. So keep on safe until ready to fire, okay? Now the most common guns nowadays are striker fire guns, which are Glocks, right? So they don't have an external like thumb safety like some of the other guns do. The gun is completely safe and it will not go off unless you pull the trigger. But Glocks also have this plunger, this trigger shoe safety where the gun will not go off when you pull the trigger unless this little safety lever is depressed with the trigger, okay? And that's to prevent it from anything getting in there. Basically, you're having a full contact on your trigger finger and the trigger shoe, okay? So, Glocks don't have safeties. Most M&Ps don't have safeties either, okay? So, keep on safe until you are ready to fire, all right? The next one is keep your finger out of the trigger guard, off and out of the trigger guard until you intend to fire. So you should not have your finger inside the trigger guard on the trigger until you are on target and you intend to fire, okay? So we'll start from if the gun is laying on the table or in the safe, right? First off, whenever I lay a gun down and I unload it, or I will unload it if I'm laying a gun down on the table, walking away for whatever reason. And I lay it down by taking the magazine out, right? So you confirm, this is how you confirm when the gun is unloaded. So Magazine, first thing's gonna come out, okay? You're gonna rack it a couple times if you want. Rounds may come out, may not. You're gonna lock the slide to the rear. So you can look inside and verify by seeing that there is an empty chamber, meaning no rounds or no brass inside the chamber or the barrel. You look and visually inspect, and physically, if you want to put your finger down there, that there is no magazines in the magazine well, okay? Because if you go to send your slide home and there is a magazine well or mag in the mag well, you're gonna put a round in there, okay? So either way, when I set this gun down, I will take the mag out, lock the slide to the rear, and then I will set the gun down on the table or in the safe or whatever the case may be. Mainly because if I come up to pick that gun up or somebody else comes to pick that gun up, they can visually see before they even touch the gun that the gun is empty by looking at the chamber or an empty mag well, okay? So, that being said, that's from picking up the gun. When I go to pick up the gun, my trigger finger is straight and off the trigger always, and whenever I grab it, up on the slide. So this is the slide, this is the frame. Trigger finger is always straight and along the slide above the trigger guard, okay? So whenever I handle a gun, I pick it up, this is automatic in how I hold it, all right? Even when I go to put it in my holster or when I go to draw, when I come out, my finger lands like this, and that's what you wanna be. Now, when you go to establish your grip, your finger doesn't go on the trigger until you are ready or until you intend to fire. So I'm on target, finger in the trigger guard, and then I would press the shot because I'm intending to fire, okay? So, that last one is keep finger off trigger until you intend to fire. All right. Now the last one I added, like I said, the Marine Corps, our ditty was treat, never, keep, keep. Okay, that was easy to remember, but I added the no in there. All right. No is consciously knowing or realizing or paying attention to what is beyond your target and what is before your target. Okay. So if I'm shooting at a paper target or whatever the case may be, obviously the bullet's going to go through the paper or cardboard. Well, I need to know what's behind that target because it needs to stop the bullet. Okay, if you're at a range, obviously it's going to be a berm or some type of, tires or something like that, right? So know what's behind and we'll say before your target. All right. So know what's behind your target, know what's in front of it. That's probably better. Behind and in front. Okay. Now, all of these are firearm safety rules. Some people call them the range safety rules, but in reality, they apply not just on the range. Like carrying a gun as a CCW holder, or carrying a gun in the military, or as a cop. You have to follow these rules, even though you aren't on the range. This is your bedside gun, right? If this gun is in your nightstand or in your safe and something happens, you pull the gun out, you have to follow all these rules so you don't shoot yourself or shoot one of your family members, okay? This one's an important one or applicable to like a home break-in scenario where you have a gun, you gotta get to your kids. Well, the way my house is set up is I have an entryway, right? And my bedroom's over here, but my kids' bedrooms are past the entryway. So if somebody comes in my front or back door and I start sending rounds that way, well, behind him is a wall where my kids' bedrooms are, okay? Not to mention if the kids wake up and they're running around the house trying to get to us, they're gonna run past him or run behind him or whoever broke in, and I need to be aware of what's beyond my target and what's in front, okay? So these rules don't just apply on the range. They apply anytime you handle a gun or carry a gun, okay? So, treat, never, keep, keep. And no, treat as if it were loaded. Never point anything you're not willing to destroy. Keep on safe until you are ready to fire. Keep finger off the trigger until you intend to fire. And then know what's behind or in front of your target, okay? That's it. So we'll do this on the safety brief on the range day, but at least we don't have to spend as much time on it. We'll just go over it briefly. There you go.